Sup friends, Liron here, and today I want to share with you a full abstract painting process. So I don't usually do the intros for my videos outside, but I thought it would be a nice little touch to show you around a bit while I'm explaining to you what you're gonna see. So basically, about 3 or 4 weeks ago even, I showed you on Instagram, if you've been following me there, a full painting process. Well, not a process, but just a painting, an abstract work. I called it Stairway to Heaven. It has 3 different sort of steps of cubes, and I really love this one, and I wanted to share with you the entire process of making it. And so this is exactly what we're gonna see today. I plan on selling it for a nice price. It's actually gonna be a part of my abstract painting series that I'm working on developing right now. I have like 7 paintings in mind that I hope to produce. And so this will be the 3rd one in the series, and I hope to share more soon. So anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy, and let me know in the end what you think about these kinds of works of art.
Okay, so starting out with the drawing, and basically this is going to be a 2-point perspective work, probably with a touch of 3-point perspective. And the reason I say a touch is because I am literally indicating the 2 points, as you can see now, and I will indicate the 3 points just later on, just when working on the cubes, okay? Now, I'm going through the process rather fast because I don't want to bore you with too many details, because these abstract work processes can be really repetitive. So basically, I created a grid coming out of 2 points to create a perspective, and I have a few videos on perspective if you want to dive deeper into that that you can take a look at. I am going to do more content specifically on 2-point perspective because it is an important topic. Okay, but for now I want you to pay attention to the gist of it. I basically created a grid of perspective using a ruler with 2 points that are outside of my page, and I just kind of winged it in some sense, and then I'm basing all of the cubes that I'm drawing on this grid. And so every line is parallel to some kind of a line group on the grid, okay? And I'm just going at it cube by cube. The main challenge here is keeping an interesting composition, okay? Because it is quite repetitive. And so in these kinds of cases, you have to just make sure that you make the thing interesting in terms of values, in terms of placements, in terms of color selection, things like this. And I call this work Stairway to Heaven because it does look like kind of stairways into an endlessness. But the interesting thing is that we're looking downwards at them, so we don't see where they lead. Okay, and I've devoted quite some thought to this particular piece in terms of the concept, the idea, the application, and also the colors and the composition, as you'll soon see in a few moments. Now, the more we move towards that top left area, the more the cubes sort of move away from us, and so they are literally smaller, okay, in perspective. And I'm making sure to keep them smaller, and so that they are pushed to the back. Okay, now another thing that will help pushing them back later on will be the use of different colors. You'll see much less vibrant in those far off cubes. Okay, now in terms of the composition, it could definitely have been better. The spacing between the 3 stairways is quite similar. I wasn't planning for it to be similar, but the thing is, because it is similar in a 2-dimensional space, but we sort of project that onto a 3-dimensional space, and it looks maybe a bit repetitive. But in any case, now I want to cover the top parts of the cubes, and there's no shame in masking them because I'm going to apply a really large wash. And I accidentally forgot to turn on the camera, so just the beginning of the wash unfortunately wasn't caught on camera. But I'm basically using Cobalt Azure, which I've been told it's pronounced Azure, and then some quinacridone rose for that, or magenta, something like this. Now that when I'm taking off the masking tape, you can see how there are highlights left on the top parts of the cubes. Okay, now I know I'm going rather fast with the process. It's just that, again, I don't want to bore you with all of the repetitive stuff. If you want some more in-depth processes, let me know. But with abstracts, you know, it's just repetitive, so I'm kind of skipping some of it. Now I'm starting with kind of a red or orange-ish, brownish first layer, and I tried to have some blue in it so that it's actually muted down. Now the reason I want to mute it down is because it's in the distance, okay? And here I got a spark of a brighter red, but still quite muted. And you can see how that works out nicely with the highlights here. Now, an important thing to do is, I think, to vary it as I go along, just to create interest. And the more I move downwards, the more I try to make it a little darker, and probably later on incorporate some more blue. Yeah, you can see it now. Just a bit more blue to make it, to send it more to the back. The cooler, bluer kind of the color is, the more it has the potential of looking like it's farther away from us. And also a weak contrast is a good indication of something that's far away from us. With closer objects, the contrast is usually stronger because we can see all the details and we can see all the nuances. So now moving on to the next row, and already I'm using more vibrant colors. You can see my face as well here in the process, and now I'm just zoomed in so you can better see the details. I'm really pleased with these parts, by the way I handled them with all the vibrant reds and the yellows. This is really important for me. I wanted to express the staircase or the stairway in a way that is very vibrant and full of color. And only towards the bottom, more bottom parts, to have some more neutral blues and even greens here. The green here, I think, is a really nice touch. There's a bit of a cool green with the blue, and then there's a bit of a warmer green with the yellow being more dominant above it. And now we're finally coming to the next stairway. So with this one is the closest to us, and you need to kind of be the most detailed. The brush I'm using is a Liron brush, I believe. I got this one in Paris. It's a mop that has a tip. The tip isn't perfect, so it's not like the best, you know. I think I saw a few Escodas that have that, and even Raphael ones. Now I'm back to my, now I'm using my silver black velvet. But anyway, the Liron brush is not perfect, but it's pretty good for larger pieces. This is a really large piece. It's actually, I believe it's a whole sheet or half a sheet. I just don't remember. It's always interesting to do these narrations a long time after making the original painting. It lets you kind of see it in a whole different light. So anyway, now I'm adding another layer of darkness to the parts of the cubes that are closer to us. Okay, so I'm using mainly a mix of blue and some yellow, some red, but mostly dominant by blue. And you can see the mixture to the right, very neutralized, muted, and dead. Now here I'm making it a little more vibrant and happy because I do want to give a sense of the distance. Okay. And you know, with a bit of variety here, it's a bit more blue. Just trying to keep the color composition interesting. I think that's my main focus here. And you can see here it's like red and then yellow and green and then blue. So it's just, I'm really pleased with the way the colors turned out here. This is actually also a good exercise in varying a wash, because it's what we do here. We're really varying the wash. So now we're mostly done. There isn't an awful lot of things that I add here. So just the last stairway and its shadows. And then I will do some wet and wet, which you'll see in just a few moments. I initially thought that the first wash will be dark enough, but some parts of it need some more darkening. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically pre-wet some areas, and as you can see now, and I'm just putting in them some more paint, and this will make it fade out. And I'm kind of moving along with my intuition here, but basically what I want to do is add a bit of shadow to the meeting point between the cubes, because that's where the least amount of light can reach. Okay, so and you can already get a sense of what it feels like, that it's actually gradually changing from that middle point between the meeting point between the two cubes and outwards. Okay, and you can see I'm making the contrast stronger the more I go along. My hand got out of the frame here for a moment, so apologies about that. I will rearrange the camera in just a moment. And there you have it. Like, I'm really pleased with this result and the overall, the way it looks. I'll give you a better look of everything after we're done with this. But I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And I think the colors, and there's a good feeling of depth, and the message comes through. Here's the final result. Really hope you enjoyed this one.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this process. I just wanted to give you a better view of the entire painting, and you can probably see just by comparison to the size of my palm, this is a rather large painting for me. I usually work in smaller sizes. Anyway, this was really fun to work on, and I'm really pleased with the result. One of the things I'm most passionate about in terms of the actual painting technique is these kinds of things, letting the paint stay really thick and let it mix on the paper. So when I get this red and then pure yellow and again pure red, and here there's green, then sort of orange, and you can see the individual spots of paint on paper. This is what I'm actually most passionate about. So I really had a lot of fun doing this. I kind of improvised in terms of the composition and where these are structured. The distances are somewhat equal. So I'm not sure really about the result, if it was exactly what I imagined or visualized before that, but I can say 100% that I'm really, really pleased with this. So this painting, I'm gonna sell it hopefully in the near future. It's gonna go for a pretty large sum of money. I still need to think about that, but I will try to get it maybe in a gallery or something like this alongside with the other abstract painting. I think this one has a lot of value. And anyway, yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this process. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can better see some of the details. Yeah, okay, so just wanted to take a brief moment and show you some of the details better and more zoomed in so that you can see all the yellows and blues, reds, greens. I think just this is a pleasure for me to look at, and I really hope you enjoy the process as well. I kind of like how the pencil lines stay on the painting. I don't see any reason to get rid of them. I actually love that. It creates this very interesting grid for me. And anyway, yeah, this is it. Let's change the angle and wrap up this video. So friends, I hope you enjoyed seeing this full process. Let me know again in a comment below if you enjoy seeing these kinds of processes. The full painting processes especially I'm curious about, because I can see that a lot of people prefer the shorter videos that just show color combinations and stuff like that. So let me know what you think about it, and in particular, inside the category of full painting processes, the abstract works, because this is really interesting to me to see if you've connected with it. I tried to do like a lot of time lapse and get through some of the more repetitive stuff, especially because it's the same pattern repeating itself. So this is it. Don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. By the way, this was shot on my iPhone, and so there's a bit of shakiness. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat for more works in progress. For example, this painting, if you follow me over there, you would have been able to see about a month ago. And so to see things with less delay, I guess, you can follow me there, and I think you're gonna really enjoy it. Also, I'll put a link in the description box to my podcast. Make sure you check that out, because I just think it's really good. It's starting to build up, and I really, really believe you'll enjoy it. So this is it. Don't forget to leave your feedback in a comment below, and I will see you again in another video real soon.